Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
It's draw time with Mr. Mayberry. Time to draw.
Well, hello and welcome back to Draw Time with Mr. Mayberry. This is day number 5 of Road Trip Week, our final day, and today we're going to be drawing a camera. So let's get started. It's time to draw. Okay, today we're drawing a camera. So I'm going to start off with a rectangle shape. 2 short sides and 2 long sides. You can use a straight edge for this if you'd like. I'm going to try to go ahead and do this without one just so I can keep this moving. Alright, and then this is going to be a 3D camera. No, it doesn't shoot 3D pictures, but the camera itself is going to look 3D. So I'm going to go ahead and make 3 lines that slant from the bottom right to the upper left to give some depth. This is going back into space. Then I connect these 2 with a vertical line and the top with a horizontal line. Okay, so this is the basic shape for the camera. Now there's this trim along this edge, and it continues around the front. And I want this to be parallel with the top, about the same width apart, and the lines are going the same direction. So 2 lines there. And then below this I'm going to add, there's a detachable lens on this type of camera. And so that's what I'm going to be drawing next. I'm going to start with a circle just below, starts just below that trim, and then it goes around, curves around and almost to the edge, and then it goes down below here. So that's the direction and size to make this circle. Okay, so there we go. A little bit rough, but I'm going to clean that up as we go. Then I'm going to draw the sides of the lens, and I want them to slant the same direction that these lines do, from the bottom right to the upper left. So I'm going to try to make the same kind of slant here on this lens at the bottom and also at the top. Then I'm going to draw the edge or side of this by making a curve that follows the same direction as this part right here of the circle. Okay, so that's the lens, the main outside parts. Then we're going to draw, let's see, let's add some lines here for some texture along the sides. These lines all follow the same direction as these outside lines. Then on the front there is a second circle inside the first. Just shows the thickness of this part of the lens. Okay, and then I'm going to clean up this part right here. Then I'm going to add the actual lens itself inside. This is the glass piece right here. Makes a curve. And that also gives this camera some depth, like the lens goes back inside. It is made out of glass, so I'm going to make it look kind of shiny. Like put a highlight on here, just a curve, and then another curve like a sliver right here. So that's a highlight, like the light is reflecting off of the glass. And then I think what I'll do is I'll shade in where the glass is because it's dark behind that at the moment. Until you take the picture, that opens up when you take the picture, but there you go. Okay, now inside the lens here there are also these curved lines here. Okay, I'm going to make this a little darker so you can see it better then. Alright, so this is the lens itself. Attachable lens. Now let's work with the camera. Up at the top there's a viewfinder, and actually you look through the back of the viewfinder and you see what the lens sees. So you look through the lens. Now I want it to be in the center, so I'm going to work from these 2 edges and try to find about where the center is here, and I'm making a trapezoid shape. It's going to go up above the back of the camera there and connect it here. Okay, then I'm going to make this look 3D as well. I'm going to make a line that slants the same direction as that one. And then on top I'll make another line there, but this one's shorter up on top. And one there. These two are the same size. And then I'm going to connect this here at an angle like this. And this top one will just have a straight horizontal line across like that. I'm going to clean up inside of this. Alright, and then now we're going to add some knobs on top. It's good to look at what you're drawing. If you have a camera of any kind, you could draw what you see of that. It might give you some ideas for this camera even, things you could add to it. This one has a few knobs on top. And I'm going to start with this one here. This is an oval. And then I added 2 lines on the side to make kind of a shallow cylinder right here. Okay, and then I'm going to go over here on this side and make another cylinder. This one's a little bit taller. This is actually the shutter button right here. You press this down to take a picture. Okay, so an oval, smaller oval, 2 longer lines here, and then a curve that's the same direction as this one right here. Okay, and then I'm going to put one more knob on this, starting with an oval. Now it's behind the shutter button, so we don't see all of it there. I'll see a little bit sticking out here. And then I'm going to turn this into a kind of a short cylinder like this one over on this side. I'm going to make this one just a little different because I'm going to make some vertical lines here all along the edge. Okay, so I made a oval that's going behind the shutter button, 2 short lines on the side, then made a curve underneath here that followed the same curve of that oval, and then vertical lines all along there. Okay, now I'm going to shade in the lower half, or lower portion of this. It's more than half of the camera. And I'm using the top of the pencil. You could also use the side of the pencil. That works good for shading as well. And then over here too, this line here I'm going to make a little bit darker. Just fill it in. This right here. And I think I'll also darken this spot right here, this one right here. And I'll do that to this as well. But now, so this is our picture for today, a camera. Well, now that we know how to draw a camera, let's take some time and see how we can add that to the big picture. Okay, let's take one final look at our big picture for this week. Here's the camera we drew today, and I made a thick dark line around the edge, and that was to make this look like a sticker, just like I did with the suitcase. Then I went ahead and colored in around the rest of the picture here, and this is like a gray scrapbook page that all these items are fixed onto. And I actually printed out the words Road Trip Week on the computer, on the printer, and then cut them out and pasted them down just like you would different items in a scrapbook. So a little bit of collage there in this picture. Now remember, when you color something in, take your time, do a good job. Don't mess up a good drawing with bad coloring. In the smaller areas I use colored pencil, in the larger areas I use crayon. And so this is what our big picture looks like for this week. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for taking time to draw with me this week. I hope you'll come back next week as we start a new summertime theme. And remember, if you want to be a good artist, do a little drawing every day.
Summer, 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 summertime. Oh yeah, that's a keeper.